Okay, perfecto. Good. Folks, the technical aspects are important, if only to support the storytelling aspects. Like I said, welcome back to Doom. It's wonderful to have you all here. We are continuing on with Feast of Hemlock Vale with Alessandra Zorzi, Countess by night. Nope. Alessandra Zorzi, Countess by day, Thief in the night by night. I am absolutely chuffed to bits to be back. It's a great campaign so far. I'm loving the story, even if it's a little, as Blanky Cat says, a little wacky tobacky. Just as always, we'll do a little catch up on where we are in the story, and then we'll dive right in. I have... Whoa! Flower! Thank you! Oh, thank you. That is so kind, Flower. 2 to go. Subscriber. Yay! There's no coffee in this. Thank you. Flower, that's very, very kind. Thank you. You still don't get any frost tokens. Although, I will say, Flower, I am tempted to stream a one-off. There's a campaign called Against the Wendigo or something where I would stream a one-off and just have frost tokens. I'd roll a d6. I'd be like, that's how many frost tokens. Here's how it's going to work. It's going to be great. Daylight Thief, Contessa by night. Whoa. I am confused now. As always, we'll do a little recap. We'll get into the prelude of this, the first evening here in Hemlock Vale. And then we'll try to make some choices that feel right for the character. From a mechanical perspective, I earned 3 XP last scenario, which feels like not very much. And part of that was just how the scenario rolled out, and part of it was not quite being able to snag a couple little bits and bobs of XP. However, we managed to help some people, which earned us some of that XP, which is boom. Okay. Did I get the shard? No. Oh, you weren't here, Flower. No. I'm sorry, Flower. At the end of the day, we survived only by the skin of our teeth, and I had to leave some XP behind. I had to leave the meteorite shard thing behind. We had to leave Bianca de Cats behind. It was honestly a bit of a disaster. Let's remind ourselves here. Alessandra Zorzi, the Countess, criminal mastermind by night, a drifter and a socialite. She was in Arkham, carrying out the wishes of one criminal, Zamacona, a theft, essentially. She went to a fancy gala and then robbed them blind, including, I'll pull it out so we all remember here. Where is it? Thank you. Including, she got a hold of this, which was not actually a part... I am disappointed too, Flower. As a quick reminder, of course, Alessandra Zorzi, not a scientist. Here with scientists, not a scientist. And frankly, I probably should be playing Kate Winthrop, the scientist, but there you go. Thank you, Blanky Cat. I also believe that's what happened. So, in addition to picking up what Zamacona asked for, Zorzi was like, well, this will be for me. The silver moth, a very intricate, as you can see here, a relic, this beautiful kind of piece of perhaps jewelry, perhaps an accessory, and yet there is something about it that is not quite of this world. I'm going to put it back in the deck here. While in Arkham, she was approached by her old friend Dr. Henry Armitage, who insisted, nay, voluntold her to go along with Dr. Rosa Marquez and the other guy, Bertie Musgrave, on their trip to Hemlock Isle. They're there to examine some of the strange flora and fauna that exist on the Isle. And Alessandra Zorzi is being sent along by Dr. Henry Armitage as the face, someone who can actually talk to the goddamn locals. Some of the locals are quite fancy, and therefore they would get along well. Some of them not so much, but she is silver-tongued in a way that is almost inhuman. And in fact, as we've started to learn, perhaps it is a little inhuman. She can communicate with creatures that don't even speak a human language. Maybe she can find some way to do with that what you will. As a reminder, as well, we've done Scenario 1, Day 1, North Point Mine. The scenario is called Written in Rock. While we were in town, we managed to develop some relationships with Judith Park, Theo Peters, Gideon Mizra, William Hemlock, and Leah Atwood. And Simon Atwood, Leah's son and Mother Rachel's nephew. This is the... Oh, God. Oh, no, you guys can't see. The resolution of it's not very good. Simon Atwood, the troublemaker, is... Alessandra was able to determine right away that Simon Atwood is going to be, like, the number one way in to figuring out what's going on here and figuring out what's worth maybe stealing on her way out, etc. He's a troublemaker, and he has a personal, familial relationship with Mother Rachel. So, she went to North Point Mine to, like, check out his clubhouse, ended up running into River Hawthorne, who was, like, picking flowers for love or something, ended up on a mine cart with her girlfriend and River, and then rescuing Simon from the mines, and they found their way out of that terrible place with the beastly monsters. Have we decided who amongst the locals we're going to do our BioWare-style romance with yet? We haven't fully decided, but I'm going with probably Judith Park. Alessandra, I believe... Alessandra feels gay to me. Like, she feels like she's got relationships with the ladies, for the most part. We will see if that changes. Perhaps, perhaps we'll see if there's some other relationship that forms. And then they made it out of the mine, and they're back in Hemlock Vale. Do I have to say anything else? I spent my 3 XP. I spent it on a couple of things, which are fine. One of them is actually good, and then the other's fine. And hopefully that helps us excel at this next scenario. Let's have a look here. I think we should just dive in, right? That's enough setup. Then if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'm going to dive in here to Prelude for the First Evening. As you return to Hemlock Vale, a young red-headed girl in a rabbit mask introduces herself as Rebecca, Mother Rachel's daughter. Oh! And leads you by the hand to dinner in the Commons. The long building's large barn doors are open to let out the rich scent of roasted vegetables and savory meat. The people of the Vale sit and eat in lively conversation, each of them in their white gold cloaks. At the head of the room, Mother Rachel stands up and calls for attention. Rebecca leads you to the now picked over dinner spread as the room falls silent. Meine lieben Freunde, what a blessing that all of us have come here on the threshold of infinity, and what a greater blessing still that pilgrims have come here so full of light and curiosity. Mother Rachel gestures to Dr. Marquez to her right, and to you, Alessandra Zorzi, Countess. We have waited for the right moment to open our community which is truly the sanctuary of transfiguration we long dreamed of. For each of us yearns to be remade as we wait to join our light with the light of the cosmos. Ugh. Okay, that doesn't feel particularly, good, but I guess we'll continue. The room bursts into applause as Leah Atwood and several locals place trays of honeyed cakes topped with robust red fruit in the center of each table. Your stomach grumbles as you take a bite of shriveled greens. It has a faint bitter taste and a sharp smell. One at a time, each investigator must decide individually. Keep eating. In your campaign log, record, Alessandra finished their meal. Or, don't eat anymore. Okay, now, here's where it gets interesting for me. On the one hand, Alessandra knows to be polite. You shouldn't just refuse food at a gathering like this. It's going to come across poorly. On the other side, Alessandra's no fool. This is clearly some sort of wacky tobacco cult, and they've probably put weed in all of their food. And it's gonna, and it's gonna absolutely wreck her later. I'm tempted to go with don't eat anymore. And I'm tempted to roleplay it as she manages to sneak a little bit sort of into her bag, and she manages to get a little bit on someone else's plate, and this and that and the other, basically, so that she doesn't have to finish her meal. Oh, greens! Ugh. Okay, we're going with don't eat anymore, so I'm not recording anything in the campaign log. You may choose where to sit for the community meal. One at a time, each investigator may choose a different codex entry from the following. If there is only one investigator, you may choose 2 to resolve instead. Hell yeah! After you have read the appropriate number of sections, proceed to Resolution 1. Okay, guys. I'm gonna read these. I'm not gonna put it to a poll, but we are gonna have a discussion if there's anything that you're like, oh, for sure this is what Zorzi would do. Sit, 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 sit. Dr. Marquez, Mother Rachel, and William sit at the head of the room at a large open table. To sit with them, Codex Omega, or whatever. Okay, so those are the important people. Feels useful. Judith's face is pinched in frustration as she talks to River. Judith Park, the muscle, maybe a bit of a dummy mommy, perhaps, and River, the person from the cave. To join them at the outer edge of the commons, Leia is watching the room as Gideon talks to her. To join them in the center of the commons, Theo leans against the doorpost looking outside. To join him at the entrance to the commons, some children in animal masks eat honeyed cake in the corner. To sit with the Vale's youth. Or to sit alone, blank. If there is only one investigator, this option cannot be the first choice. Okay. I'm gonna tell everybody where I'm at here. Judith and River feel like relatively important people. Obviously, Alessandra wants to talk to Simon, the person she has the best relationship with. I have to assume, I don't know if he's a child or a teenager, but he's probably with the children, right? Great question, Flower. We didn't end with the clues we needed to help River. So, unfortunately, it just didn't, and it was such a disappointing, that was disappointing, because I was like, if I do one thing, you know. There's also Dr. Marquez, Mother Rachel, and William Hemlock. Mother Rachel's the head of the community. William Hemlock's probably the most important Hemlock in the community. Dr. Marquez is the leader of the expedition. Feels important. So I'm tempted to go with animal masks, and then either Dr. Marquez, Mother Rachel, and William, or Judith and River. Yeah, okay, I'm definitely with the kids. So I'm gonna go with the kids first, and then I'm gonna come back, and I think we might go with Judith and River, but we'll see. Kids have cake. Crosshair, you are correct. On to page 33, baby. The rabbit. If Simon Atwood's name is crossed out. Yikes. Nope. Otherwise, Rebecca's mask is pulled back to reveal her freckled face as she sips slowly from a bowl of thick, meaty soup. Several raised, scar-like growths score her neck and cheeks. As she opens her mouth to speak, Simon Atwood bursts from beneath the table. Oh my god! Welcome to the Miner's Secret Order of Mischief! Simon pulls out a ruled notebook and begins taking minutes. Our goal is to rain mayhem on Auntie Rachel's plans. Oh, bruh. You and me both. Because she said there would be no fireworks at the feast, and she thinks there won't be, he says in a conspiratorial voice, but we're gonna put on the best show this island has ever seen, and you're gonna help me! That is, if you want to become an official member. He nods, as if in agreement to his crazy plan. Meet me behind the old mill tomorrow morning! Increase Simon Atwood's relationship level. Each investigator earns a bonus experience. In his notes, record, Simon hatched a plan. The Miner's Secret Order of Mischief. I love it, guys. Okay, remember, tomorrow morning, so day 2, meet me behind the old mill. So we're increasing his level, we're earning a bonus experience, and we are hatching a plan. Or Simon is hatching a plan. All right, Simon. Wow, 4 already. So I have to let him not die. And we're earning an experience. You love that. Woo. Okay, now we return, and I think we're gonna look at Judith and River. Woo. Judith's face is pinched in frustration as she talks to River. To join them at the outer edge of the commons, triangle. Best friends, 1. The table's mood is decidedly icy as you sit down across from Judith and River. Delta, that does make sense, Flower. Blanky, I don't think I had to make a note. Oh, did I have to make it? Thank you. I'm actually gonna check that really quick. Written in rock was here. Simon survived. So I'll tell you, Blanky Cat, what happened is that I ran into some trouble. I ran into some trouble with this save, so I had to restart my save, which means that I lost all my notes. And I thought I'd recorded all of them, but clearly not. Actually, speaking of which, I did take some photos, so let's just make sure that I didn't miss anything important. No, that's it. Okay. Thank you. All right, back to it. The table's mood is decidedly icy as you sit down across from Judith and River. That's not what I meant, Judith glowers at River. I just said jazz makes my head spin. River takes a puff of their clove cigarette and winks at her. Darling, an evening at the Cotton Club in Harlem will get the rest of you spinning too. Yes! You must decide. River, jazz is delightful. Jazz is hell, Judith. Zorzi would like jazz. So that's the short and the long of it. Best friends 2. So I'm going to go to best friends 2. River, jazz is delightful. You engage in some playful banter with River as they gush about their favorite jazz heavies in Harlem. Okay. After realizing the back and forth won't end anytime soon, Judith walks away in a huff. No! It's fine. We'll figure it out, guys. It's fine. River smirks. Once I clean up this trash boat of an island, there'll be no more rustic feasts. I'll make it a retreat for artists, visionaries, and you can bet there'll be jazz. Increase River Hawthorne's relationship. Each investigator earns an experience. In River Hawthorne's notes, record River shared their ambitions. Interesting. I'm vaguely concerned about the idea of being like, this old folksy place? Tear it down, build condos. Exactly, Flower. Not so sure about that. The evening chatter fades as residents trickle out of the commons. There is an uncharacteristic spring in Dr. Marquez's step as you reconvene outside. The sunset casts the sky in shades from ochre to lilac to violet. The professor cracks a handful of walnuts as you share your impressions of Hemlock Isle. This island has the density and special variance of a jungle, but it's far more dangerous than any jungle. I have no clue why someone would start a commune in such a hazardous environment, but I understand it wasn't always so deadly. Something was introduced and fundamentally changed the local ecosystem. Dr. Marquez muses. It's a good point, Blanky. Let's just, it's the Wicker Man, right? We just need to burn it all down. You mention the unusually good mood shared by everyone in the village, and the professor nods. Most everyone looks like they're blissed out of their minds. It's like walking into an opium den. But as far as I can tell, the food isn't laced with anything. Though I didn't try the bread pudding. I've never liked bread, and the last time I had pudding was in Oxford. Incredible. The professor's reference to the prestigious university brings Bertie Musgrave to mind, and you ask where he is. You haven't seen him? I assumed he went back to the boarding house to rest. She scowls. Theo offered to lend us the truck for the evening. I thought we could observe some of the local wildlife at night, but I suppose we should find him first. A heavy breeze stirs the trees and grass around you, smelling of cedar and pine. Dr. Marquez grips her cane. If you'd rather take the truck and continue the survey, I can look for Bertie on my own. Each investigator earns the bonus experience awarded during this prelude. Record it under unspent experience. That's 2. Do not spend any of it until the end of the next scenario. Fine, so +2 already, guys. The investigators must decide. Search for Bertie Musgrave with Dr. Marquez, or gather more information on Hemlock Isle's unique ecosystem at night. Which would mean choose a scenario that you haven't already done. Now, I can see it also says add some tokens, which I'm not thrilled about. But more than that, I feel like Alessandra wants as many allies as possible for the coming. It's not necessarily going to be a fight with the cult, but they're going to try to pull something. She's prepared for whatever comes to pass. And if she needs to have Rosa and Bertie on her side so they can flee at a moment's notice, if she needs to have the troublemakers setting off fireworks to give them a way out, so be it. Unless anyone has any severe problems with it, I'm going to go to The Twisted Hollow on page 34. I tend to agree, Flower. Which maybe on a second playthrough, I would kind of pick a path that makes more sense from that perspective. I think from Alessandra, that doesn't look good. Alessandra's perspective is get as many allies as possible. The Twisted Hollow. Now, I placed the Night 1 scenarios, so this is the Twisted Hollow, so I'm going to go ahead. Hang on. Make sure to delete the set-aside chest and scenario reference card. placed by the prelude before setting up the next scenario. Press recall under the first evening's box to clear those things. Done. Dong. All right, we won't look at that yet. I should have known better than to let that little twit go off on his own. I swear on his precious little grave, if I find that boy plucking violets and reciting poetry, I will have him expelled. Incredible. I love her already. Dr. Marquez almost spits the words as she leads you to one of the Vale's supply sheds. Searching the village yielded no results. Just a pile of books and Bertie's leather satchel in his room at the boarding house. Nobody seems to have seen him since the morning. Ruh-roh. The professor opens the rickety shed and grabs an old barn lantern from an iron hook. He could die, or worse, expelled. Exactly, Flower. That's exactly what I was thinking. Look for oil, she says gruffly. You mentioned the locals' warning against going out at night, and the professor wraps her cane on an empty oil can. All the more reason to find Bertie. She's got a go-getter attitude, and we like that around here. A long shadow falls across you both, ruh-roh, and you turn to see Mother Rachel silhouetted against the sunset. You all left so quickly after dinner. Is there something I can help you find? So we have to decide. Tell the truth. Lie. Yeah, we're looking for Bertie Musgrave. That's not a lie. We don't have to like spill our guts about, oh, well, we talked to your nephew and he's going to set off some fireworks and we think that there's something going on and we think you're leading a cult. Like, does anyone have any issue with Alessandra telling the truth to Mother Rachel here? Get her to trust you a little bit. Just a little. I'm doing it. I realize I'm on a bit of a delay here in chat. And of course, as always, please let me know if there's any audio or visual or whatever that you want me to share or change. Very good point, Flower. Intro 2. As you share the dire situation, the elderly woman nods gravely. As I said when you arrived in the Vale, we do not venture out at night. However, your friend will likely not survive the night if left alone. Oh my god! Why wouldn't you say that before? Don't go out at night. Brackets, you'll die! Exclamation point. She eyes Dr. Marquez's old lantern. Please, take my lantern. Stay in the light, and you will find the way much safer. She leads you to the edge of the forest as the sun sets. The forest air is unnaturally thick, and you find it hard to breathe, but you follow the matron nonetheless. Eventually, Mother Rachel leads you to a broad open field and gestures to the tenebrous shadows. From here, you take your lives into your own hands. The people of the Vale will pray for your safe return. Now goodbye. Hazy lights dance above the meadow's yarrow and asters. Mother Rachel points into the murky abyss. If all else fails, return to the fireflies. In your campaign log record, Mother Rachel showed the way. Add a cultist token, ruh-roh, to the chaos bag for the remainder of the campaign. Cultists usually represent the sort of like, the work of whatever cult is at play here, right? So that's not great. But I will type, Mother Rachel showed the way, which I am here for. I will also point out, it has set out the proper Night 1 card, in which the forest comes alive with many creatures great and small. Okay, we are going to set up, read our agenda and our act, and try to find Bertie, I guess. Gather all the cards from the following things, put Night 1 time marker card into play, make your own path. Check your campaign log. If Mother Rachel showed the way, find the Vale Lantern story asset with the boon trait, put it into play under the control of an investigator, lit side face up. Remove the other one from the game. If there's only one investigator, the Vale Lantern does not take up a hand slot during this scenario. Oh, thank you, Blanky Cat. Now, Blanky, I just want to point out, this is my first time through, as you are well aware, right? So I just want to warn you against spoiling anything, please. I'm sure you're not going to, but just a heads up. Sacrifice. Ooh, I love it, Crosshair. Terrifying, to be sure. This is the one that's boon traded. I will remove the other from the game. It does not take up a hand slot, so I'll put it over here. The Vale Lantern, the Beacon of Hope. Vale Lantern's location and each connecting location lose the dark trait. because it's a lantern. Okay. Reaction. When an investigator at your location moves into and reveals a forest location, exhaust it to ignore the location's forced effect. So when I enter a forest, I can exhaust Veil Lantern to ignore the effect that that forest might have on me because of the Veil Lantern. Right, sure. Forest. When it would leave play, flip it over, place it at the nearest location instead. Okay, so if it was to be destroyed, in fact, it just gets lost. Okay. Set the Twisted Hollow and Glimmering Meadow locations aside out of play. Then, based on the number of investigators, randomly remove the following from the gathered Western Woods locations. Remove 2 locations. Whoops! Drop the lantern. Whoa! Everything's on fire now. Remove 2 Western Woods from the game. God, that's a lot of Western Woods. It's 11. Check your campaign log. If Mother Rachel showed the way, put the Glimmering Meadow location into play. We begin play at the Glimmering Meadow. This is the Glimmering Meadow. I'm going to put it dead center. We'll look at it in a second. I'm going to continue setup. If not already in play, shuffle the set-aside Glimmering Meadow. If not already in play, shuffle it into the Western Woods. Draw the top 4 cards of the Woods deck and put them into play above, below, right, and left of the starting location. It's gonna be one of those. Who remembers the Paris Catacombs? We begin here in the middle. Left first. Got it, Crosshair. You got to it first. Check your campaign log. Gather each story asset from the residence, blah, blah, blah. If Theo Peters is at relationship level 2 or higher, no. Judith Park is at relationship 2 or higher, no. Set her aside. Put Dr. Rosa Marquez under the control of an investigator. For the remainder of this scenario, she does not take up an ally slot. She does not take up an ally slot, so I'll put her over there. Okay, we're going to look at all of our locations momentarily. Set aside the special agenda. Oh, God. Shuffle the remainder encounter cards, blah, blah, blah. Place a resource on the scenario reference card under darkness level. For the remainder of the scenario, the number of resources under darkness level indicates the passage of time as it becomes more dark. Okay. So let's have a look at our special stuff first here. Alessandra has gone with Dr. Rosa Marquez, has been shown the way by Mother Rachel, and they're looking for Bertie out here in the woods at night. Now, all they know is that it's extremely dangerous. Alessandra has some tricks up her sleeve. Literally things like guns, but also some of her tricks, some of her ways of, you know, speaking with creatures that don't necessarily listen, soothing people. Let's have a look. A dim, though distinct luminosity seemed to inhere all of the vegetation, grass, leaves, and blossoms alike. The Glimmering Meadow is nice. Action resign. I'm sure Bertie's fine. Action heal a horror. Limit once per round. That's quite nice. If we can get back here, maybe that's going to be a good, nice little horror heal. Yeah, action 1 resigned. Great. Let's move on to day 2. Let's have a look at Dr. Rosa Marquez, because we have the lantern. Dr. Rosa Marquez, best in her field. Boo! Wow, 4 cost, intellect, agility, wild. If it's survival of the fittest, I intend to survive. While you control Dr. Rosa Marquez, you get +1 intellect and +1 agility. Absolutely huge for Zorzi, guys. This is very good news. Reaction, after you discover the last clue at your location, codex entry. Well, I mean, that's the plan. The plan is to get clues. So we're going to see if maybe Dr. Rosa Marquez can discover something about the surrounding wildlife. Look at that art. Oh my God. Ah! It's someone being stolen away. Agenda 1A, deepening dark. The silent woods thrum with the sounds of hungry creatures and stalking shadows. Forced. After a location is revealed, put locations from the top of the woods deck into play above, below, left, and right. Obviously, you don't do that if there's already a location in that position. But this is... It's revealing the woods as we move into them, right? Forced. When the investigation phase ends, each investigator at a dark location must either draw an enemy in pursuit with the highest evade, or take a horror, cannot be cancelled. Okay, when the investigation phase ends, investigators at a dark location have to do that. However, the Veil Lantern specifically says its location and connecting locations lose the dark trait. So as long as we... This is some famous last words shit about to happen here, guys. As long as we have the beacon of hope, as long as the lantern is lit, Gondor will call for aid. Who will answer? Rohan will answer. As long as we have the lantern, the dark can't get us. It's a classic light-dark scenario. Also 3 Doom, which is not very much. Act 1A, Desperate Search. There must be some trace or clue of Bertie in these woods. You only hope you aren't already too late. Each enemy without spawn instructions gains spawn. When this enemy is drawn, put this enemy in the pursuit area. I'll have to double check. I believe the pursuit area is just like an area near the agenda deck that just kind of sits there. We'll have a look. Objective. Aha. At the end of the round, if each investigator is at the same lair location, they may spend the requisite clues as a group 3 to advance. 3 clues at a lair. We don't like the sound of lairs, but that's okay. Let's just double check here. Yeah, darkness, location, adjacency, pursuit. Okay. Throughout this scenario, the number of resources under darkness level indicate the current stage of night. As time ticks down, resources are added. Play continues until the investigators reach a certain darkness level. Lara. It's fine. Or are defeated. The darker the forest, the deadlier its snares. Okay. Location adjacency. Locations emerge left, right, up, down. If a location ever has no shared edges with another location, slide it vertically or horizontally until it is adjacent to the nearest location. Cool. Okay. Pursuit. Some cards in this scenario reference an area called the Pursuit area. It's an out-of-play area next to the Act and Agenda deck, which enemies can enter and leave via card effects. Generally, enemies in play will move to the Pursuit area as the night progresses. Although it is out of play, whenever an enemy moves to or from, it keeps all tokens and attachments. Okay, so if Zorzi can beguile somebody, even if they're in Pursuit, they remain beguiled. Enemies in the Pursuit area are considered to be in Pursuit. Enemies that are in Pursuit are considered out of play. They cannot be affected by cards or actions. Fine. While they are in Pursuit, ignore the forced effects. Doom on them is out of play and does not count towards the Doom threshold. So this is interesting, because it specifically shows this as like a location placement, but the act set, or the agenda says, put locations from the top of the woods deck into play above, below, to the left, and to the right of that location. So if I went left, in theory, there should be something to the left of it. But apparently not. Oh, I see. Oh, God, it says back to the veil. Okay, thank you, Immorticus. Okay, shh. Thank you, Immorticus, I appreciate that. I misread the back to the veil thing. We'll look at that later. I will remind everybody, of course, this is my first time playing Feast of Hemlock Vale. The focus is on roleplay and storytelling. Obviously, if I miss a rule or something, please let me know. But the focus is always roleplay and storytelling, and not necessarily doing things in the most optimal way. And also no spoilers, please. But you all know that. Okay. It's time to draw our opening hands. We're looking for 3 clues. We're looking for Bertie. We're looking for a lair, which sounds terrible. I hope it's not a bear. Let's draw our opening hand. Let's get doomed. Why-ya! Fox masks, snitch, lockpicks, perception, stir the pot. Pretty strong, guys. Pretty freaking strong. I want a gun. I have the fox mask for evasion, so that's gonna be okay. Fuck yeah. That's gonna be okay for now. Flying clothes would have been nice too. But we'll take the backstab. This is a super nice opening hand. I see a couple of early plays and maybe a move. Yeah, oh, yeah, Crosshair, that's the thing, yeah. So if the prelude had been, like, run around, talk to people, then we would have done all of our setup during prelude, including playing a card, etc., etc., but we don't, so we'll keep this. These are must-plays right away. Snitch I'm going to keep for now. Backstab is going to be super, super important for Zamacona, if I can keep it. Okay. Alessandra Zorzi looks around. Dr. Rosa Marquez is already looking at the flowers, picking them, trying to make sure that, you know, like trying to figure out kind of what they are and so on. How's my music? Turn it up just ever so slightly. Okay. We always go left. Of course. Of course we always go left. I like it. 1, 2, 3 actions. I don't have a parlay today. That's okay. Lockpicks. Fox Mask. And we move. Dr. Rosa Marquez is leading the way. Alessandra Zorzi is searching for any trace of someone having been in the woods. This glowing, beautiful meadow is... well, it is lovely, to be sure. But she can't quite shake the feeling that if there was any trace of Mr. Musgrave, it would have already disappeared into the night. The darkness is pressing. It's almost a sort of living creature. But the lantern keeps it at bay. Cthulhu? Saludos? I wouldn't want to banish you to the spoiler-free zone, but you take yourself there. I'm super happy to see you here. We're just starting night 1. I was just doing my setup, and I drew a pretty sweet opening hand. So, lockpicks, Fox Mask, and then we are going to move. No parlay. It is what it is. It's wonderful to see you, though. Let's go left, a.k.a. west, because they are called the Western Woods. The trees grew too thickly, and their trunks were too big for any healthy New England wood. There was too much silence in the dim alley... Oh, excellent, Cthulhu. I will. Can't wait. There was too much silence in the dim alleys between them, and the floor was too soft with the dank moss and mattings of infinite years of decay. It's giving me, like, dreamscape vibes with Luke. Whatever lives here is clearly starved to the point of eating its own kind. Forced. After you reveal Bear Den, find the enemy in pursuit with the highest fight and spawn it engaged with you. If you cannot, draw the top card of the encounter deck. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and cancel this. Oh, is it a forest location? Oh, please tell me. Okay, it is. Phew! So I'm going to go ahead and exhaust the Veil Lantern to ignore that effect. It is a lair, which means this is where we're going to return to once we have our 3 clues. Left. Sorry. Up, above, below, left, and right. Okay, awesome. That's the end of the investigation phase. Alessandra Zorzi follows her nose, as it were, west into the woods, and they almost immediately come across a cave. Oh, that's okay, Crosshair. I'll take it. It's the lair, and that's where we need to be, right? Perfecto. As they... I think so too, Flower. I think it goes in the pursuit area, which would be okay. Hang on, remind me. Oh, yes, and of course, when the investigation phase ends, if I was at a dark location, i.e. if I didn't have the lantern, you either draw an enemy in pursuit with the highest evade or take a horror. But of course, the Veil Lantern, keeping things bright. The lantern illuminates. Its rays of light venture out into the forest and then happen upon a cave and a violent slash through the rock, which is actually rock, yes, but entwined with ancient tree roots. Alessandra's no botanist, but Dr. Rosa Marquez ventures in without hesitation. You know, there's some clattering as she reaches down and notes the massive skull. Looks like an Ursa skull, she says. And yet, it's far too big. Maybe this was left here as a hoax. Alessandra raises an eyebrow. No way. We go to enemy phase, no enemies. Upkeep. We upkeep into a beguile. You love to see it. 1 out of 3 doom. We draw our first encounter card here in the bear den. It is a bear. No, I'm sorry, it's much worse. Creature, monster, mutated. A stalking hybrid. 3x3. It's a hunter who is alert. X is the current darkness level. It preys on the investigator with the Veil Lantern only. Forced, after it attacks you, if you control the Veil Lantern, flip it to its unlit side and place it at your location. Okay. However, I'm just going to remind myself of the phrasing on Act 1. Each enemy without spawn instructions gains spawn. When this enemy is drawn, put it in the pursuit area. So I'm going to go ahead. It doesn't have a spawn instruction. It has a prey and a forced, so I'm going to put it in the pursuit area. There is a huff of air, and the ground shakes. Alessandra whips around with the lantern, and the light catches just the edge of a leg as it disappears from the entrance to the bear cave. It seemed to be something on 2 legs, but much too large to be human. The darkness level is here, Flower. It is currently 1, because that's where it started, and we don't know how it's going to increase. I should actually point out, of course, the Twisted Hollow. Skulls are -X, where X is the current darkness level, sorry. Cultists are -1, heal a damage from your investigator. Tablets, we don't have any. And the Elder Things are -4. If you fail, take horror. Big oof. Okay. Those are -4, -1, and this is also currently -1. Okay. Whew, yeah, luckily. -3 if you fail, find the enemies in pursuit. Yep, okay. Yeah, woof. So the hybrid... Hey, Optipersona, hello, welcome to Doomed. Wonderful to have you with us. So far, so Gucci. As you, if you're not familiar with the channel, I play with a focus on roleplay and storytelling rather than on sort of optimization and so on. And so far, our solo story of Alessandra Zorzi, the Countess, making friends and stealing shit from the community has been pretty Gucci. We're just looking for Bertie Musgrave right now on night 1. As the lantern light whips around and catches just the edge of the cave, again, Zorzi sees that... Crosshair, I think it... Hang on 2 seconds, Crosshair. I have to... I didn't remember to do this. Is it warning? Yes. I'm just turning it on now. There you go. Crosshair, it should be G to G. That's what's up! Thank you, Crosshair. Yes, very much so, Optipersona. Opti, are you a big Arkham Horror fan? I take it you haven't played yet? So, the light catches the edge of a huge leg as it disappears from out of sight. She turns around to tell Rosa Marquez, but Rosa's already looking at something else. We go back to the investigation phase. First things first, let's have a look at this bear den, shall we? We're going to get the clue here. We're going to try to get the clue here. Oh, I forgot about... No, Snitch is going to be nice. Snitch is a classic Zorzi. It's a trick. Play after you succeed at a skill test while parleying. Discover 2 clues from among your location and connecting locations. Basically, after you speak highly of someone at breakfast, they share their information with you. Well, Opti, I hope if you're interested, stick around, see how my playstyle of roleplay storytelling first goes for you, and we'll go from there. First action, we are going to look around the bear cave. Alessandra Zorzi is going to try to figure out... She's not looking for information... I mean, she's looking for information about Bertie, but mostly she's looking for another way out that isn't the entrance to the cave. Exhaust lockpicks, investigate, add your agility to your skill value. If you do not succeed by at least 2, discard lockpicks. Well, because of Rosa, Marquez, I got 5 and 5, so I'm investigating at 10 to 3. Yeah, that's pretty strong. Okay. Clue. Red? Rosa Marquez says, after you discover the last clue at your location, Codex Omega? No, that's not Omega. I don't know my Greek. I don't know my Greek. Dr. Rosa Marquez. Upsilon. Dr. Marquez leans on her cane as she studies a balsam fir with spiraling branches. Obviously, here in the cave, naturally. Glinting lights in the trees offer faint illumination. Looking up, you see shining blue nodes. I've never seen something so beautiful, the professor says, unable to contain her wonder. A moment later, she looks at you sharply. Don't you dare tell Bertie I said that, or I'll tell Armitage you died on the survey. Oh my god, Rosa, are you threatening me? Choose any location in play. You may reveal that location, ignoring its forced effect. Well, Crosshair would suggest we go left, so... Let us reveal... No, let's reveal the location farthest from us so that we can see if we have to go there or not. There is no forced effect here. The winding paths loop back on themselves. It's a one shroud, one clue location. After you discover a clue at this location, look at the revealed side of a connecting location. You may move. That's nice. So the crooked path kind of takes you on. I revealed a location, so I have to put new woods into play above, below, and to the right. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? Well, we'll just do the left side of the map, get the clues we need, go back to the bear lair. Bear lair. Thanks, Dr. Rosa Marquez. Second action. Well, so far so good, Crosshair, so I think we're going to. Second action, let us move down past the edge of the bear den to see if there is some other way out of the cave as they make their way further into the cave network. It's a crooked path. X is the current darkness level. After you discover a clue, look at the revealed side of a connecting location, you may move. Well, above, below. Okay, interesting. Well, last action. Rosa and Alessandra are continuing to hunt for any sign that Bertie may have been here, any sign that a person may have been here. Exactly, Crosshair, we like that. I'm going to investigate this location. It has 1 shroud because it's only darkness 1. I have 5 intellect, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit that 5 to 1. You love to see it. Clue. Look at the revealed side of a connecting location. You may move to that location. I'm going to look at this one. It's another crooked path. And there's no more woods left, so I'm not even going to bother going there. The music is just like, ooh, so dramatic. Okay, so that's an easy clue, but I think Crosshair, I think you're right. I kind of want to... No, I'm all out of locations to place, Flower. After you discover... Look at the revealed side of a connecting location. Yeah, oh yeah. And I don't know. I think I kind of want to hunt and see if there's anything around here. That's the lair, though. That's good. So we know where we're going, which is nice, once we've accumulated enough information. Once again, that brings us to the end of the investigation phase. I'm going to go ahead and upkeep. Of course. The Silver Moth. You must either put the Silver Moth into play in your threat area. No, takes up an accessory slot. Oh, it goes in your threat area, but it takes up an accessory slot. or take a horror and shuffle it into your deck. It cannot leave play except by double action discard. You get -1 sanity. Whilst fumbling around in her bag looking for an additional, perhaps, something to trim the oil lamp wick with, Alessandra Zorzi, cries out, takes out her hand, blood running down her fingers as she realizes she has once again she's once again snagged her fingers on the silver moth, the strange jeweled relic she stole back in Arkham. This marks twice now that while she's been looking for something else, the silver moth has drawn blood from her, almost as if it is trying to draw blood from her. Of course, Blanky Cat. That's the ticket. Well, I ain't got nobody else, so all by myself. We go to 2 out of 3 doom. Oh, sorry, at the end of the investigation phase, if I was at a dark location, something would have to happen, but I'm not. So we go to 2 doom, and we draw our next encounter card here at the Crooked Path. Another horrible, horrible animal. And their spores smell of rotting meat. So it's a mutated flora, 2/2/3. Day, aloof. Night, massive. I love this. The black amanita. So, this is a mushroom, I guess, a large mushroom. During the day, they just sit there and do nothing. At night, they take up the whole location because they grow in size, perhaps. Forced! After you discover a clue at a Black Amanita's location or a connecting location, if it is ready, take a direct horror. Oof, and it deals a horror. Oof. However, spawn. Put it into play in the pursuit area. Right? Put it in the pursuit area. Great. Okay. So the mushrooms are currently pursuing us. Which I guess makes some degree of sense, I think. Yeah. Oh! Oh, thank you, Crosshair. I did not know that. And now I do. Action 1. Let's go ahead and move. We're going to hunt for a couple more clues. Maybe we can get... If we get one from this crooked path, maybe we can look at something and see. I just want to see if there's any more victory points or anything. Badger and a snake. The forest thicket. Oh, sorry, the fecund. Fecund means like hearty and hale, right? No, it means thick with life, I think. It gets -X shroud, where X is the current darkness level, so it's currently shroud 5. Forced, after you reveal it, test agility X. X is the current darkness level. If you fail, find the enemy in pursuit with the highest printed health and spawn it here. Well, I don't mind this forced effect because I'm probably going to move on and I'll want to keep the Veil Lantern just in case. So I'm going to test 5 agility to 1. Basically, as they make their way off the path, all of a sudden the path narrows and vanishes as the trees become incredibly close and dark, and the lantern penetrates but only so far. I'm testing 5 to 1. Oh no, Flower! Flower? Why did you do that to me? If you fail, find the enemy in pursuit with the highest printed health. Well, X could be any value. Now, X is the current darkness level, so it's the Black Amanita. No, it says spawn it at this location. Okay, it's a massive mushroom. As you do. As Alessandra goes to take a step to make their way out of the thicket, Dr. Marquez barks out an order. Stop! Zorzi freezes, looks down, her foot hovering over what looks like an endless mushroom. Happy sautéing! These things, these mushrooms, seem to emit a stench that Alessandra can't believe she didn't even notice until it was right on top of her. Oh, I have a great idea here, guys. Exactly, Flower. We can seduce. We can seduce the old mushrooms. Now, let me think about this for a second. I kind of want to keep my money. Snitch says, after you succeed at a skill test while parleying. So I think the plan is... Hi, Laura. You here to join me on Doomed? No. I think we're going to beguile the mushrooms. We're going to get out of here, and then we're going to use the beguiled mushrooms to give us some information, which they will then snitch on us. They're going to snitch. Always seduce the mushrooms, dude. We're going to... I'm absolutely chuffed to bits. I'm going to beguile the mushrooms. Alessandra's eyes take in the size and scope of these black amanitas. Dr. Marquez hisses through her teeth. Smells of rotting meat. What are these things? I would insist so too, Flower. As a reminder here, black amanita is a 2/2/3. It's massive, so it takes up this entire area, but that means it can't move with me. It's not in my threat area, so to speak. After you discover a clue at its location or a connecting location, if it's ready, take a direct horror. So my plan is leave, and then we're going to use it to snitch and grab some clues. It's so stupid. I absolutely love it. Free parley action. We're going to evade. At 5-3. That's not great. So I'll boost it with a fox mask offering to go to 7. Does she have good fertilizer? I mean, she's about to, Blanky Cat. Oh, boy. I have a feeling Alessandra looks out over the vast quantities of mushroom and realizes they're pulsing with some sort of energy. She understands that fungi are alive, but she didn't really understand to what extent. She narrows her eyes and wonders, I wonder if this will work. She leans the veil lantern down towards them. The mushrooms seem to shrivel under its gaze. And then she begins to make small puffing noises, almost as if they are releasing spores themselves. I'm going to evade 5 to... Okay! Immorticus, it's absolutely wonderful to see you. I stream in character here typically on Tuesdays, and then we do Doomed on Saturdays. You can follow, of course, now you're following the channel, you'll know when I'm streaming, but also join the Discord. It's the RPG Clinic Discord, of which I am a member, if you want to know a little bit more about us. Thanks so much for joining us here on Doomed. We're going to go evading! Evading! We're going to evade the mushrooms. She's going to parley the mushrooms to try to get them to talk, as it were. Free action to parley, 7-3. Wow. Well, I am absolutely thrilled that that worked. Okay. So we evade. As a reminder, Beguile allows us to move the enemies, or investigate or evade at its location. If I fail, I have to discard Beguile. But I can activate it from any location. Now, we're going to move. I moved out of a location with an enemy, so I get my offering from Fox Mask back. Whispering these strange little puffing noises at the mushrooms seems to have the desired effect. They seem to shrink under Alessandra's gaze, and a path between them forms. Rosa looks at her. What did you do? And Alessandra just says, oh, I don't know, playing dumb, as if she didn't just suggest that the mushrooms clear a path. We move on to the right. This is Mushroom Grove! Ruh-roh! It gets +2 Shroud while it is not dark. Forced. After you reveal Mushroom Grove, test Intellect X. X is the current darkness level. If you fail, the enemy in pursuit with the highest evade attacks you. Well, I'm going to Veil Lantern this one. It's a forest location? Yeah. To not hit this ability. Crosshair. You'll be absolutely thrilled to know. Alessandra Zorzi's silver tongue extends beyond humans. She imitated the noises that the mushrooms make when they produce spores, and the mushrooms cleared a path for her and Dr. Rosa Marquez to continue on. I don't see any victory points here, guys. I'm wondering if there aren't any. It's getting a little tricky. Now, I want to parley here so that I can then snitch and grab the clues for free, which is pretty good. I have one action left. I'm going to use it to take a resource. Catch our breath. Here in the Mushroom Grove, I canceled the forced effect. Somehow, perhaps the Black Amanitas were clearing a path for them to continue on, but perhaps they were simply clearing a path for Alessandra to see the rest of their life forms. Is saying spoiler would be a spoiler. Blanky Cat? These are the questions for our age. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think saying the word spoiler is a spoiler. Took a resource. Enemy phase, no ready enemies. Upkeep. We draw sneak attack. We ready the Black Amanita. Our location is not dark because of the forest. Mythos. 3 doom. Here's where it gets tricky, folks. Oh my god, there's only one agenda. Gathering darkness. Add a resource to the current darkness level, which brings our skulls go down to -2s. If the current darkness level is 6+ and you are playing in campaign mode, you are defeated and suffer a physical trauma. Okay, well, let's not get to 6. Otherwise, perform the following. Interesting. Put each enemy at a dark location not engaged with an investigator into the pursuit area. Now, clearly, Flower, I cannot believe that her silver-tonguedness extends to all life somehow. So, the mushrooms are not at a dark location because the Veil Lantern is keeping the fecund thicket light. Shuffle each of the shuffle each unrevealed dark location along with the top 2 cards of the Woods deck and place them on top of the Woods deck. What? Shuffle each unrevealed dark location along with the top 2 cards of the Wood deck and place them on top of the Woods deck. Okay, well, good thing I revealed a few locations. These are all dark, right? Yeah. Unrevealed locations are all going back in the pile. Well, that is annoying. Okay, well, at least I still know where the lair is, so that's no bad thing. Flip each... But wait, there's more! Flip each revealed empty dark location to its unrevealed side, discarding all tokens. Okay. That's okay. Revealed and empty. That's empty. That's empty. Aha, that's empty. This is not empty and this is not empty. I see how it's going to be. Oh, that's great. Put locations from the top of the... Oh, thank you. Yes, of course, Flower. Thank you very much. So that remains not dark. Lit, if as it were. Shuffle each unrevealed... Yeah, okay. Put locations from the top of the Woods deck into play, above, below, left, and right of each location with an investigator. Okay. I will shuffle, and I will go above, below, left, and right. Of course, the forest seems to shift and change in the darkness itself. These goddamn mushrooms. These goddamn mushrooms! Have you guys seen Wicker Man, right? The bees? It's the mushrooms now. The investigator with the Veil Lantern tests Will X. X is the current Darkness level. Shit. If they fail, they must choose an enemy in pursuit to spawn engaged with them. Flips this agenda back to 1A. Okay, well, I'm getting an enemy if I fail this willpower test, which I am not loving. But it's not the worst thing in the world. The bees! So I'm 3-2. I have no willpower icons. There's nothing I can do except hope! Zorzi! Yes, Alessandra! Very good. +2. If you succeed, choose a non-elite enemy at your location or a revealed connecting location. Automatically evade that enemy. Pow! Now, I wanted to snitch it, but we'll do our best to... That's fine. That was a free evade, and I will absolutely take it. Wow. I mean, that's some strong hope right there. Okay. We're not out of the mythos phase yet, though, because we still need to draw an encounter card. We need a clue. And yeah, Crosshair is correct. We've reverted back to the Agenda 1A. So at least we have a couple of rounds to get back to the lair with the clues that we need. I guess maybe there's no... I guess it's possible that there's, like, you know, maybe there's some sort of, maybe there's some sort of victory point location somewhere. But let's draw our encounter card. I can't believe the Veil Lantern didn't go out, though. That's fantastic, because it's a boon, I guess, right? Uh-oh. As they gaze upon the mushrooms and the mushroom forest. Very good, Crosshair. Correct. Now, I hadn't heard that expression before, but it is very, very true. As the mushrooms kind of, like, react to the light from the lantern that passes over them, Alessandra Zorzi suddenly realizes that she's completely turned around. The path that she thought she took to get into this little clearing is nowhere to be seen. She tries to reorient herself, and all of a sudden, the mushrooms directly ahead of her contract, dehydrate, and become sharp and thorny. This is a wall of thorns. Am I out of music? I think I am. Let me just fix that, shall we? As always, let me know if it's too loud or anything. Revelation. Attach wall of thorns to the nearest location without a wall of thorns attached. It's night. When you move into or out of the attached location, take a damage. Well, the hope is we don't have to come back. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh, no. Oh, God. These mushrooms. These goddamn mushrooms. You know how parley works? After you succeed at a skill test while parleying. Well, I need clues. Well, not with that attitude, Crosshair. I don't have to do anything. Okay. I've already evaded the mushrooms here. I've already evaded the Amanita because of my Elder Sign. I could move them. Yes, thank you, Crosshair. You are correct. Yeah, so I guess I could just run back. I could move up. When you move into or out of the attached location, take a damage. I could move up, use the crooked path to look at the revealed side of a connecting location and just see if it happens to have victory points. And then I can move on back towards the lair. Oh, God. No, this is not the lair. This is the lair. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's probably the right play. It does, Blanky Cat. Unfortunately, I don't have my fine clothes. So this is a 4-shroud location. I do want to just snag some clues. That's what I really want to do. Move. Parley. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Parley, investigate, snitch. Yeah. Oh, God. Guys, I think this is going to be really good. Oh, hang on. I have my lockpicks, too. Yeah, honestly. For sure, Crosshair. Free action to parley. We're going to move... I'm going to move the mushroom here. Is that right? No, what am I doing? Just do it at that location. I'm going to investigate the second thicket using her connection to the black amanita mushrooms. She's going to essentially warg out and look in through the mushroom's eyes. I'm kidding. Alessandra is putting together what she's learned from Dr. Rosa Marquez about fungus as a kingdom. I do need to succeed to use snitch flower, so... Oh, there we go. Fertile. That's the one. So if I succeed, then I'll already have the clue. So then snitch... No, snitch still fires, and I get a bunch of clues in return. So, 5 intellect. I'm investigating this fecund thicket, which has a shroud of 4. I've used a fox mask charge to go up to 7. Yeah, 7 to 4. And let's not mess this up, guys. Skull is -2. Well, it is technically red. Flower of August. Okay, investigation successful. We pull the clue. And then, here's where things get really interesting. I'm gonna fire snitch. Play after you succeeded a skill test while parleying. Discover 2 total clues from among your location and connecting locations. So I'm gonna grab the one from my location. I'm gonna grab the one from up here. The reaction on crooked path, it says after you discover a clue at this location, look at the revealed side of a connecting location, you may move to that location. Now here's my question. Am I wrong in thinking I can use this? Like, intuitively, it feels like I should have to be at that location to use the reaction. But it doesn't say so, right? And I don't... It just says after you discover a clue at this location. Yeah, you discovered. Yeah, totally. So I'm gonna look at the revealed side of a connecting location. Oh my god, it's the Glimmering Meadow. And then I'm gonna move there. Whee! I have to take a damage from smashing through the wall of thorns, which I will put on me. Ouch. Ah! Look at the revealed side of a connecting location. Oh! Yes, you're right, Crosshair. Yeah. It doesn't say connecting... Oh, God. The revealed side of a connecting location. Connecting to what? Connecting to you? No, to the crooked path. It must be, right? I feel good about this. I'm going for it. It's true. Also, maybe there's... Victory points! No. The blighted glade says the boughs surely moved, and there was no wind. It's a 2-shroud, 1 clue location that's blighted, and it takes an enemy and spawns it here, so I'm gonna go ahead and not do that. So I will not move. I will not take a damage. But then I will move up, taking a damage. Oh, no, of course. Alessandra pulls Dr. Rosa Marquez along behind her as they venture north. She says, I'm not necessarily 100% sure, but I think the bear lair, I think what's it called? The Glimmering Meadow. I think the meadow is back this way. I'm going to go ahead and put some new locations into play. I think we just keep going. Yeah, we've got the clues. Like, why would I wait? I'm just going to go. Move. I could. Oh, God. Okay, I'm putting it to a poll, guys, because I have about 45 minutes left of stream. I don't think I'm going to finish, but I'm putting it to a poll. Well, have we seen... Yeah, we've seen a lot of... Hang on. We've seen a ton of the locations already, right? I feel good about it. I'm just going to keep moving. That's what... Alessandra Zorzi is not a woodsy lady. She doesn't want to be out here, necessarily. I'm going to keep moving. It's the bear lair! It gets a clue. Forced. Right. I'm going to go ahead and hit the veil lantern to make sure that it doesn't fire. Okay. If not all of them, at least most of them. I just feel like it's you know, it feels like there's less happening here. Okay. Yes, yeah, give me a few turns here. When the investigation phase ends, each investigator at a dark location must either... So here's my question. I'm never going to lose this lantern, right? There's nothing that says... I guess if something forces me to lose the lantern, then everything goes dark and I'm in big trouble all of a sudden. Okay. Alessandra... Oh, yeah, I can advance the act. Yeah. I am... Oh, it's the end of the round. Ah, I see what you're saying, Crosshair. Okay, so yes, we will do this. So far, by replicating... never say never. Oh, blanky. Ruh-roh. By replicating the sounds made by the mushrooms, Alessandra Zorzi doesn't know how she's communicating with them, but she's able to sort of clear a path through the fungus. She's able to use the way that they grow to sort of determine where she is. They find themselves back in that meadow, that beautiful clear meadow with brilliant blue flowers, and on back towards the bear cave again, where she just has a feeling there was a creature there before. And is it possible that she found a trail that Bertie Musgrave was on? That was my turn. So no hunter enemies. We go ahead and we upkeep. Drain essence. Loves the looks of that. We ready Black Amanita. It's the end of the round, so we spend 3 clues in the lair, and we advance. This is where it's going to get really interesting, guys. Crosshair, I really hope not. Fuck. Spawn. It's a codex. I'm gonna read the codex before I even look at this goddamn thing. Codex, the bear. Choose the bravest investigator to read the following. Well, I guess that's me. I am not the bravest. I am the bravest investigator because I'm the only investigator. You find a scrap of torn tweed caught on a branch that is unmistakably Bertie's. A wretched, wheezing cough sounds behind you, accompanied by the scent of rot. You turn around. A hulking bear glows like ghost fire in the darkness. A colony of shimmering fungus on the creature's back lights up the murk with an eerie incandescence. The creature roars, then charges. So it would appear Alessandra in that moment realizes she wasn't communicating with the mushrooms. They were leading her. They have entered this, not parasitical, but this relation, commensal, what's the word I'm looking for? They've entered this give and take relationship with this ursine creature, this bear. Perhaps much like in The Last of Us, the fungus has maybe taken over part of the brain's function, and now the bear hunts for, thank you, symbiotic, the bear hunts on behalf of the mushrooms. All of this flashes through her mind, and probably through Rosa Marquez's too, but the bear is now bearing down on them. Check the set-aside cards. Judith Park and Theo Peters are not set aside. Otherwise, proceed to the bear too. Before you can react, the bear, oh my god, the bear swipes at you with razor-sharp claws. Its rancid, wheezing breath floods your senses as it presses a gargantuan paw to your chest. Your vision begins to dim as the thing's weight threatens to snap your rib cage. You must either choose one. Suffer a physical trauma and take a direct damage. Suffer a mental trauma and take a direct horror. We have Drain Essence. Zamacona deals damage. The Silver Moth reduces sanity. I think we take the physical trauma. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? Because then, yeah, Drain Essence is fired up from the beginning of the game. Suffer a physical trauma and take a direct damage. The bear is pressing into Alessandra's midsection. Glass cannon. Ugh. Suddenly, a shot rings out, cracking the bear's exposed skull. Oh my god! It whines in pain as 2 more shots impact its soft, molting body. The thing lets out a pitiful grunt and then melts into the shadows. You hear Mother Rachel's voice from somewhere close. Run! In Mother Rachel's notes, record Mother Rachel intervened. Do I need to turn the sound down a little bit? Yeah. Has she been following us this whole time? I don't like it. Proceed to the Bear 3. You flee the scene into a copse of dying trees and hold the lantern up, expecting to see the bear's ghoulish blue eyes reflected back in the dark. The forest is deathly quiet as you struggle to get your bearings. Move each unengaged enemy to the pursuit area. Okay. This mushroom keeps the beguile that's on it. Spawn the Ursine hybrid at your location, exhausted, and deal a damage to it. We're going to look at that guy in a second. So, she shot it. Thanks, Mother Rachel. If it is not under the control of an investigator, choose an investigator to take control of the Veil Lantern. Got it. Set aside each empty dark location to remake the Woods deck. To do this, perform the following. Shuffle the set-aside Twisted Hollow. Set aside each empty dark location. So these are not dark. This is empty and dark. This is empty and dark. Does it keep its Wall of Thorns? What did it say here? I think it's going to be shuffled, so no, it would leave the board, yeah. This is empty and dark. And then these are also empty and dark, I have to assume. And we're going to be shuffling them together, right? It is, yeah. So that I remember reading, Crosshair. Empty refers to whether or not there are investigators or enemies there. Only, basically. Shuffle the set-aside Twisted Hollow location with 3 random Western Wood locations together to form the bottom 4 locations of the wood deck. Haha! Then place everything else on top. Okay, great, I understand. So, there's my woods. There's one more. We're putting the Twisted Hollow. I'm not going to look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these 5 go on top. No, sorry. Shit. Damn it. I was only supposed to put 4. I don't want to have to look at them all, but I'm going to. Sorry, guys. I'm trying not to remember what they are. There we go. That one goes on the bottom. 3 of these go with them. That's my mistake. These become the bottom 4 cards, and then these all go on top. My god, that's a... Okay. Is she thick? Okay. Put locations from the top of the woods deck into play. Above, below, left, and right of the investigator's location. Continue playing. Above, below, left, and right. Empty and dark. This is not dark. Okay, great. So we're good. Now, it says continue playing, which means we're going to have a... Now, we're going to look at the new act, the new agenda. We're going to look at the bear first. The Ursine hybrid, good lord, is a 5/5/3... Hunter Retaliate. It gets +2 health. 5/7/3. It's got 1 damage on it. Forced. When Ursine Hybrid would be defeated, if it is Act 2, heal all damage from it and put it in the pursuit area instead of the victory display. Okay, so we can't hurt it yet. So we're just evading. A monster, a creature, mutated, elite. Victory 2. 3 damage and 2 horror. This thing is huge. Okay. Evaded with 1 damage on it. Well, we are gonna run. This bear den is... Alessandra Zorzi and Dr. Rosa Marquez were not thinking big enough. This bear is just much larger than anything they could possibly imagine. Where's Bertie? The trees close in on you as you follow Bertie's trail deeper into the forest. Spend a clue. Look at the revealed side of an adjacent location. Objective. Find Bertie Musgrave. He's lost deep in the forest. Do not advance until you are instructed. Okay. This at least... that was the end of the round when I advanced the act. So now we go mythos. 1 doom. And we... Well, no, but going left will reveal more locations, Flower, I think is the idea. And by going left, Crosshair's like, yeah, but, you know. Well, exactly, Blanky Cat. What did you expect was going to happen? The creature has loped off into the darkness, but it will return, especially given that there is... a couple of very tasty, beaten-up people. A down is left. You got it. What? We're going to draw an encounter card. Psychotropic Spores. Well, here we go. It is only now that Alessandra realizes that sitting so close to the mushrooms may have done something to her mind as the world begins to spin and glow in a way that is not entirely natural. Put it into play in your threat area. Limit 1 per investigator. Forced. The first time you draw 1 or more cards from your deck each round, take a direct horror. Oh my god. No, thank you. Action. Test intellect 3. If you succeed, discard it. You may take a direct horror for this test to automatically succeed. Okay, well, we're going to take the test once, and then if I have to, I'll take it again. Well, we have clues. So we're going to spend the clues. I mean, the plan is to move, right? So we could spend a clue to sort of check. I want to get rid of this psychotropic spores. That's what I want to do. So the plan is like move, use clues to look at things, try to get as many locations in play as possible. I'm going to just move this over because we are planning to go left. Teehee. We'll go from there. God, this beast is horrible. Alessandra's head starts to spin again as she realizes some combination of the spores from the mushrooms in the forest and the spores on the back of the Ursine hybrid's body. It is having an effect on her mind. Dr. Rosa Marquez does not seem as taken. Crosshair, yeah, so exactly as Flower says, the limitations of Tabletop Simulator are such that the way that the original person designed this, they made the board this big. And I think that's just completely arbitrary, right? This is not, let me put it the other way here. This is not an Arkham board. This is just made for this mod. So, if you were playing, on your kitchen table, you would just keep putting shit to the left or whatever as you go. That's how I feel. Okay. Clue, move, psychotropic spores. We have a parley, but I don't have anything to do with it. I guess I could drain essence. Drain essence. Choose an enemy at your location. Test will X. X is the chosen enemy's fight value. If you succeed, move a damage from your investigator to the chosen enemy. Up to 2 instead, if they are non-elite. Might be better on a smaller enemy, TBH. Also, it's 5. 5 combat. Good lord. Okay. I'm thinking we spend some clues to... Well, no, we're going to be going left. I don't need to bother looking at things. We have the Veil Lantern and all of that, so I think we're good. Let's test for psychotropic spores. The plan is to shake off the effects of this of these mushrooms and then run, following Bertie's trail to try to find him. Let's go ahead and test 5 to 3. You do have a gun. It is true. Bear big. Bear big! I should, eh? I mean, this is the other... Oh, but the bear... The British Bulldog It does both. Oh, well, if it enters the... So, Blanky Cat, you are, of course, correct. If it enters the if it would enter the victory display, it would heal. But if it has 6 damage on it, maybe at the beginning of the next act, I can just pow pow, take it out. That is the hope, anyway. However, oh god, yeah, and the British Bulldog does use agility, but that's only gonna put me up to 5 to 5. What I need is more stuff here. So I'm thinking, what I'm thinking is I'm gonna hold off for now. I'm gonna get moving and see if I can do anything else. Oh, Fox Mask though. I kind of love it. Maybe I just set up psychotropic spores. We shake off the spores. Maybe we mess up the bear a little bit. Exactly, Flower. 5 to 3 for the spores. Motherfucker. Second action, we go for the spores again. I don't want to have to deal with this, but I will take a direct horror for it to automatically succeed. And discard the spores. Oof. I have 2 actions left. One is... Oh, sorry, I have 1 action left, and 1 is to parley. I'm not going to bother draining essence on this. Sneak attack. Look at this guy with his goddamn garrote. Absolutely wild. Deal 2 damage to an exhausted enemy at your location. It doesn't say non-elite. Pow. It's exhausted. He's all tuckered out. Moving also, though, gives me a Fox Mask charge. But yeah, for now, yeah, exactly. And then this is where I immediately regret my action when I start pulling worse shit next round. Okay. Dr. Marquez is sort of shouting from the back of the cave, like, "What are you doing? Get out of there! We can't. What are you trying to do?" Zorzi is sitting there thinking, if I can bring this will be the discovery of the century, and if I can if I pave the way for Dr. Rosa Marquez to bring this thing's corpse back to the mainland, as she's setting up this little trap in the bear den for when it returns. It's the end of the investigation phase. Our location is not dark. Elegant garrote action. Bow. We go to upkeep. It's another copy of lockpicks, not as useful. We go to 2 doom. And we draw an encounter card. And of course the bear readies. Is it massive? It is not, right? No. It's just a beefy boy. Oh, I'm gonna mess this guy up so bad here. Let's party. Ah! Uh-oh. Lurking fear. Yeah, this is I think it's Theo Peters in the art, actually, but look at that. This is obviously the fear of seeing this thing again as it blunders back towards the bear cave, loping and then charging at Alessandra. Test agility 3. It gets +2 difficulty if your location is dark. If you fail, you must either take 2 damage or find the enemy in pursuit with the highest fight and spawn it engaged with you. Well, that would be this stalking hybrid. Blech. I don't like that. I'd rather not fail. 3 agility. 5 to 3. Don't really want to spend a Fox Mask charge either, because I'm going to need those for trying to deal with the Ursine hybrid. No, let's just do it. We're testing 5 to 3. Okay. The fear gets the better of Alessandra, but only for a second, as she plants her feet and drives the bear towards the trap that she set up, a small little stake pit. As it falls in, the hybrid kind of wheezes, coughs, and screams in pain. And she starts to run away from the beast. All right, it's back around to the investigation phase. We can use the clues to look, but again, I don't think we have to. I need resources. So I think we're just going to evade the creature with the fox mask. Sorry, do I need the fox mask? Ursine hybrid. It has retaliate, but it doesn't have alert, so I'm just going to evade it. 5-3. Well, obviously we're trying to get away from the hybrid first and foremost. Clues are good, but getting away is better. We're gonna move. I'm putting an offering back on the fox mask. Alessandra runs in pursuit of Dr. Marquez. No, I can only do each codex once per game. Yeah, okay. Oh! It's the Corpse Grove. 3 shroud, 1 clue, full of corpses. Oh god, as they rush out the back of this cave, Alessandra only pauses for breath when the Ursine hybrid's shouts and screams disappear into the darkness. But as she leans against a tree for support, she jumps in horror as she realizes that there is a face next to hers. The face of a corpse, to be sure, but somehow there are human skeletons within the trees. After you reveal Corpse Grove, take a horror. After you successfully investigate Corpse Grove, take a horror. Well, I'm going to hit the Veil Lantern for this. I don't want to take the horror, so I'm not going to. 2 actions. I'm going to... oh, sorry, I have to put locations into play. Above, below, left. I need to just keep moving. When an investigator at your location moves into and reveals a forest location, exhaust the Veil Lantern, they ignore that location's forced effects. I would say no. I am ignoring the forced effects, but the forced effect... the second one says after you successfully investigate it, take a horror. I don't know. When an investigator location moves into and reveals it, exhaust it to ignore its forced... no, it just says ignore its forced effects. You're right, yeah. It doesn't say, like, for that moment or, like, ignore the ones that, you know... just, yeah, effects. Blanky, I got 20 minutes left on the clock for me before lunchtime. And, of course, Drew Crew at 3 p.m. Eastern in about 2.5 hours. Tune in for that on Elizabeth's channel. I think you're right, Crosshair. I'm going to try to grab this clue. Let's go ahead and lock picks just because. 10-3. Got it. The way that the corpses in the trees are organized makes it clear to Alessandra that people who wandered into this... these are not the corpses of people who just found their way here by accident. They were placed within the trunks of these trees and allowed to decay there. Ugh. Yes. Does it say once per round? It does not. Well, I want to move once more so that then I can check. Okay, peace, Blanky. Great to see ya. I don't know why I did this for peace, but whatever. I'm thinking I'm going to move once more. Then there's a possibility that the place where Bertie is will be there. That's my plan. That's it. I don't have any parleys I want to take, so I'm going to go ahead and call that the end of my turn. Upkeep, we get manual decks and the Ursine hybrid readies. We go to 3 doom. Shoot. And we do this. Okay. The darkness presses in even further in this corpse forest, despite the trees being a little less present here. At the very least, knowing that there are corpses in them is truly a horrible, horrible thing. I should have known. Actually, good thing I didn't. I forgot about that. Add a resource to the darkness. Boop. Skulls are now -3s. Hashtag yikesos. Put each enemy at a dark location not engaged with the investigator into the pursuit area. This is not dark because of the lantern. Shuffle each unrevealed dark location along with the top 2 cards of the woods deck and place them on top. Well, that is annoying. I forgot about that. Is this dark? Yes. Wait. Unrevealed, right? Flip each revealed empty dark location to its unrevealed side. Okay, so I'm doing that. I'm doing this. Oh, because now, in theory, it now could be in the top 7. Well, that's very... Yeah, it's very true. Oh, balls! You're absolutely correct. Flower. Okay, let's make sure that I didn't mess this up too badly here. Boop. Camera. Camera. Oh, God. Oh, God. What did I just do? Oh, nothing. Okay. What the heck? Yeah. There we go. Okay. There was a Discord overlay popped up for a second, and I was like, ugh. No, but there's only 5. That's the check, Flower. There's only 5 left. So the top 2 might include the thing. But you are, of course, correct. The locations next to me are not dark, so actually that does make a big difference. Shuffle each unrevealed dark location, along with the top 2 cards of the wood deck, and place them on top. Okay, so these are not dark. This is... Oh, this is the only one now. Okay, and then this gets unrevealed. These are not dark. Put locations from the top of the woods deck into play above, below. Right. No, it's not dark, though, right? That's how that works. Connecting locations lose the dark trait. Yeah. Okay, we're good. So basically, I don't need to place anything, because everything's still fine. Oh, this would be if there were other investigators. The investigator with the Veil Lantern test will X. X is the current darkness level. If they fail, they have to choose an enemy and spawn it. Okay, that's where this is going to get a little nasty. I'm testing 3 to 3. Yeah, okay. I wasn't going to commit to that test anyway. So I have to choose an enemy and spawn it engaged with me. I'm thinking probably the mushrooms, because they are beguiled. It is suddenly, once again, clear to Alessandra that there is some sort of symbiotic relationship between the Ursine creature. Hi, Lara. Are you here to... Oh, no. Okay. She came to watch, but not for long. Between the... Yeah, exactly. The Ursine creature, the mushrooms, the fungus that has spread across this entire forest, the corpses that have been placed deliberately inside the trees and left to die there. Perhaps someone on Hemlock Isle knows about the forest full of this highly advanced and evolved mushroom? We don't know exactly. Okay. We flipped it back. We need to keep moving and then placing more locations. Then we're going to use the clues there to figure out if there's something else. Okay. Massive. We need to parley. I could just... We could drain essence as well. I don't have any fine clothes, though. Let's go ahead and parley. Evade. I'll spend a Foxmask charge. To go 5 to 3. This is a parley action to try to, once again, force them to clear a path away from the Ursine hybrid. She tries to communicate this with her little puffs as the mushrooms shrivel and maybe reveal a path. Yes. Okay. Evade. Good. I think we're moving, and then we're going to use the clues to figure out if there's anything else that we need. Oh, well, if it isn't old Mushroom Grove. Forced, after you reveal Mushroom Grove, test Intellect X. No thank you. I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to place locations into play above, below, and to the left. And then I'm going to spend 3 clues. Yeah, fuck it. We're going to spend 3 clues and look at all of them. Sorry, I'm going to spend them one at a time, obviously, just in case I don't need to spend anything else. I'm going to spend one. I'm going to look left. This is the Blighted Glade, where you have to choose an enemy in pursuit and spawn it here. Not great. Don't love the Blighted Glade. We're going to spend another clue to look to the north. Alessandra listens to the singing of the fungus and tries to figure out if there's a way for her to... If there is a way for her to use the creatures that are here, the intelligence within the forest, to find a way. Yeah. I agree, because it's got a higher shroud now, but looking at a revealed connecting location, which is going to be pretty strong. And I'm going to spend my last clue just to check about this guy. This is the Fecund Thicket. No thanks. Okay. I have lockpicks. Yeah, Fecund can feck off. I'm going to move up. I should have gotten my offering back from moving out of the mushrooms location. Obviously, Alessandra does not know exactly what these creatures are telling her, but she can see a path venturing off to the north. I'm going to put locations into play like that. That one's not on the board yet. And we're going to try to get this clue. After you discover a clue at this location, look at the revealed side of a connecting location. So last action, lockpicks. Now, lockpicks aren't always... Sometimes a lockpick is just a lockpick, but sometimes a lockpick is not an actual lockpick. Sometimes the lockpick represents something. It represents a willingness to bend the rules, a willingness to look beyond what would normally be done. Alessandra is here to survive. She's here to thrive, and she's using any and all of her preternatural ability to speak to creatures and communicate with them to do that. 3 shroud. And lockpicks can help you get into the tiny holes of the log. I'm going to lockpicks it up 10 to 3. It's good. We get the clue. This is quite nice. After you discover a clue here, look at the revealed side of a connecting location. You may move. This is the Moonlit Clearing. Oh, God. While an enemy is moving, this location is considered to be connected to Moonlit Clearing. Nope. So we're not going that way. So we will leave it, and you're absolutely correct, Crosshair. I'm going to be placing something over there, and that's going to be great. Okay. That's the end of my turn. Enemies. The bear lopes into the corpse grove. We go to upkeep. Well, if it isn't Eldritch Tongue. I love her hat, though. She's so cool. Mythos phase. We go to 1 out of 3 doom. We are not at a dark location. We do not need to worry about that just yet. The Ursine hybrid continues to hunt towards us. Yeah, God. The Amanita might help us evade the hybrid. Yeah. Oh, I could Eldritch Tongue for Snitch. Because Snitch... No, hang on. You may play events with Parley... No. Yeah, with Parley. This said... this is while parleying. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, guys. Doesn't matter. We go to 1 doom. Here on the crooked path, Alessandra can see a clearing to the west where vultures feast upon corpses, and she thinks, that's probably not the way Bertie went. And then she has a horrible thought, which is, well, what if one of those corpses is Bertie? And then she says, no, we're not gonna think about that. Stalking hybrid. Ooh, now we've lost that forced effect that puts things. Okay, so suddenly one of the corpses from that moonlit clearing stands, scattering the vultures and birds, and starts to rush towards her. The stalking hybrid is a 3/3/3 hunter. Alert. X is the current darkness level, right? It preys on me, because I had the Veil Lantern. Yeah, exactly, Crosshair. Sorry, yes, there's a forced effect on the agenda that says when the investigation phase ends, if you're at a dark location, you have to blah, blah, blah. The act said, in Act 1, spawn shit in the pursuit area, and that is no longer present because now they are coming for us. After Stalking Hybrid attacks you, if you control the Veil Lantern, flip it to its unlit side. So, it's trying to... This thing, whatever this thing is trying to get the... is trying to get the lantern away from us. Obviously, it thrives in the dark. I'm thinking maybe we just try to kill this thing. But I also want to keep my damage options just in case. We go back to the investigation phase. We know where we have to go. We know what we have to do. Drain Essence does 2 damage. British Bulldog does 2 damage. Backstab does 3 damage. But do I want to save Backstab for the Ursine Hybrid? And I think the answer is yes. So I think we just try to evade this thing. 5 to 3. We go 7 with the Fox Mask. +1. Very nice. Alessandra pulls Dr. Marquez along the path, and as they round a corner behind a particularly large tree, they duck into its ample shade, and the creature charges by them, thinking they must be further along the path. Parley, I'm going to beguile, either move the attached enemy to a revealed location or perform a basic investigate or evade at its location. I'm going to use the beguile to evade the hybrid. Alessandra whispers those strange puffing noises into the dark again, hoping that the Amanita will hear her and slow down the hybrid. It doesn't make sense, does it? 5 to 3. Ooh, and if I fail, I have to discard beguile. We keep Mandex. We keep Mandex in hand. 5 to 3. +2. If you succeed, choose a non-elite enemy at your location or a connecting location and evade it. That's fine. I'm evading the Ursine Hybrid. The Elder Sign says it has to be a non-elite enemy at my location or a revealed connecting location. None of it really makes sense. You're not wrong, Crosshair. We're going to move out of this place. Now that the hybrid has rushed by, we're going to move north into the western woods. Oh, it's the Blighted Glade. I'm going to use the Veil Lantern to cancel this forced effect, because the forced effect here is choose the enemy in pursuit with the lowest fight value and spawn it here. I really don't want to. Which puts the western woods to the north. And of course it's the last one, hey? I'm going to go there. I'm going to do it last action. I'm not even going to play my gun. I'm not even going to do anything. I'm just going to run. The glade may be devastated by something, but scraps of Bertie's clothes and tweed continues to light the path, as it were, and we move north at the end of our turn. The knotted old tree has seen far more than you ever will. Objective. At the end of the round, if each surviving investigator is at the Twisted Hollow, investigators may spend 2 clues as a group to advance to Act 2B. For Shroud, 1 clue, victory 1, and I only have 1 clue, so next round I'm going to set up here, basically, and then advance and hope that we don't mess it up too badly. Don't lie, otherwise no lantern for you. I'd love to know what the non-boon lantern looks like, i.e. Dr. Rosa Marquez's shitty old beat-up lantern. We're not at a dark location because of the lantern, so in the enemy phase there are no ready hunters. Upkeep. The Ursine Hybrid readies, the Stalking Hybrid readies, the Amanita readies, I guess. I ready my stuff, and I draw Fine Clothes. This is big. Very big. Well, maybe being honest isn't so bad after all, says Alessandra. Mythos, 2 doom out of 3. I have enough time to finish this round, so I'm going to do it. Shoot, it's another Stalking Hybrid. Another Stalking Hybrid! unreal. It roars and screams. Oh, God. Okay. What do I want to do this turn? Get the clue on my location. Play fine clothes at least. Do I care about fine clothes? Play British Bulldog at least. Yeah. Okay. Investigate. Evade the stalking hybrid. I'm going to use a Fox Mass charge to go to 7-3. I'm doing this quite quickly, team. -1. Heal a damage. The knotted tree here may be large, but it is also a beautiful sight in a strange way. The hollow in this tree is massive, easily 3 times the size of a person, and could conceal within it almost an entire community if they chose. Second action, I'm going to use lockpicks to try to get this last clue. I'm at 10-4. You love to see it. We get a clue off of the Twisted Hollow. Last action, I'm going to play British Bulldog. I'd love to play my fine clothes, but I have a feeling as Zorzi turns around, noting that the hybrids and creatures are pursuing her, she takes from her purse the trusty 38 that she brought with her and gets ready to use it as best she can. At the end of the round, spend 2 clues as a group. So I will go mythos first. I have no parleys to take, other than I guess I could drain essence, but I think I'll keep that. Yeah. Hunter's Hunt. Enemy phase. Is that? Upkeep. We ready creatures, including the stalking hybrid at my location readies. The game is fair. Sometimes it's not. And it's now the end of the round. So we spend 2 clues, and we advance. I'm going to do this, and then we'll call it a day here, guys. Out of the frying pan. Stay back! Squeaks a familiar voice. A pine cone whizzes past your ear. Bertie peers out from a hollow in the massive trunk. It's you! I thought I was done for, but here you are! His eyes go wide as a familiar wheezing roar echoes through the hollow. Oh boy. Put the set aside Bertie Musgrave story asset into play under the control of any investigator. Will do. Oh my god. Look how cute this guy is. A true aesthete? It's aesthetic. It's the same root word. While you control Bertie Musgrave, you get +1 health and +1 sanity. I am invincible. Free trigger. Take either a damage or a horror and exhaust him to parley, draw a card and a codex. After he's defeated, set him aside out of play. F yeah. Thanks, Bertie. Oh, you're making me so tough, Bertie. Put each unengaged enemy in the pursuit area. Okay. The forced effect says if it would be defeated, not if it's whatever, so it doesn't heal or anything. Shuffle each other location, except for the Twisted Hollow, into the woods, and put them into play according to the diagram on page 36. All right, well, I'm going to do that anyway. Whoa! I am absolutely sure this will be fine to do really quickly. Each other location. It didn't say nothing about dark or whatever. There we go. Sorry, there's one more. I believe the Twisted Hollow. Let's have a look here. We'll just do this all at the same time. Whoops. Okay, so the Twisted Hollow's in the middle. 5, 5, and 3 in the middle. Okay. Bon. Left. Wee. All right. Bon. Hollow is the tummy of the meeple. Yes. Oh, God. Search all in and out of play areas for the Ursine hybrid. Fuck. Heal all damage from it. Fuck. And spawn it at the Twisted Hollow. Are you kidding me? Man. $5.35. If playing with exactly 1 or 2 investigators, you will have 1 fewer location in the woods deck. When placing this location, leave the top spot empty. Or do you mean is hollow is the tummy of the meeple? Because that is absolutely the case. Oh, whoops. Wait, no, was it all unengaged? Put each unengaged enemy. Ugh. Okay, so I've got a stalking hybrid on me. Yeah, I know, Flower. Damn it, those bastards. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Crosshair. Advance the act and agenda to back to the Vale, moving all doom from the current agenda to it. It is both the current act and the current agenda. All right. Well, team, let's frickin' look at it, and then we're going to call it a goddamn day. Back to the Vale. With Bertie in tow, you must find your way back to Hemlock Vale. Okay. Free trigger. Either exhaust the Vale Lantern or spend a clue. Look at the revealed side of an adjacent location. You may move to that location. Objective. If each undefeated investigator has resigned, R1. Now, that means we have to go back to that clearing. Not the moonlit clearing. The beautiful place that Mother Rachel left us in. It's got 3 doom, so I guess the darkness continues, which is terrible. Whee! Do it all over again! That is what we are going to be doing. However, that's going to be next time on Doomed. Oh, God. Okay. Let's, oh, my God, Flower. I'd be absolutely chuffed to bits. We've got Bertie. Bertie allows me to parley with him to draw a card, and then we talk to him, and maybe something happens, and maybe he's a little charming dude. I don't know. We've got the Silver Moth, the Stalking Hybrid, which we need to deal with, and the Ursine Hybrid, which I would absolutely love to take, you know, if we can kill it and get 2 victory points. Yeah, basically. Oh, you know, honestly, Crosshair, actually. Yeah, it doesn't say direct, so, yeah. Bertie, can you just run into that tree for a second? Thanks, man. I thought I left my gun in there somewhere. Persuasion, Drain Essence, Backstab, all of these things are very, very good. Let's see if we can deal with the Ursine Hybrid. But we're going to call it here for today, team. Normally I would stream a little longer, but as you all know, we have a guest today. Yeah, we're just going to find the exit and yeet ourselves out. We have a guest today. This guest will be present on Drew Crew in just a couple of hours. I mean, unless something changes, of course. The Discord is the place to catch up with all of the exciting happenings, but if you'll allow me, if you'll indulge me for a second, in 2 hours is Drew Crew on Elizabeth's channel, and then tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern is session 30 of Montreal by Moonlight RPG Clinic's Werewolf 5th Edition campaign. Next week, there will probably be a stream from me on Tuesday, but earlier in the day, I believe Emperor Scotimius needs to try out some Anno 1800. Sometimes you just gotta move forward in the future, am I right? Am I right, team? Alessandra is not a woodsy lady, and yet she is managing to survive pretty well in the woods, using her silver-tongued tricks to speak to bears, mushrooms, and above all, the people that will keep her safe. I also have really enjoyed today's stream. Thank you all very much for joining me. Thank you for being here for the entirety of the stream. Flower, I especially appreciate the 3 subs. I really, really, really appreciate that. Yeah, and how, Crosshair. God, this horrible. The mine is full of horrible things. The woods are full of horrible. Like, where's the scenario that's just like, oh, just chill at the pub? So maybe next time we'll be chilling at the pub. Hope you can all join me. I'll try to finish up this scenario ASAP, because it feels like it'll be maybe an hour to just finish up. We'll see. And we'll see you all next time on Doomed. Bye-bye.